Let's talk a bit before, as I wrap up, about that slide that Kevin showed about Midtown today and Midtown tomorrow. So while we modeled what all of this system looks like, and it doesn't really cripple congestion, it doesn't make things intolerable for drivers. What happens when all these red buildings show up, right? So, and all the drivers that come along with them. So, there's really two ways to think about this. So up in the top right, you've got what's happening right now, which is a bunch of people come in the morning, and all those people leave in the evening, and we've built infrastructure for both sides of that commute. So approach number one in the bottom left is we could just keep building that. We could try to keep just widening freeways and building ramps, and we know that's not a financial or even a desirable sort of approach for us to take. The other approach is really a three-legged stool. So one is to rebalance the flows. With all those people coming in the morning and coming out in the afternoon, our real opportunity are the ramps that are less empty. It's going the opposite direction. And what that means in Midtown is building more housing. Putting in residential is going the opposite direction primarily of the work and the office uses that are here, and using that side of the infrastructure that isn't heavily utilized in the peak hours. So rebalancing our mix of uses is one approach. Rebalancing the modes that we've spent most of this presentation talking about, and then changing some of those incentives for people. So this will give you a sense of what we can accomplish. These are trips in Midtown today. There's about 175,000 car trips in our study area. Midtown's actually done a really great job in getting that number to 175,000. The mixed use that's here really knocks down the number of car trips. The transit options that are here, the walking options that are here, have gotten that to a very good balance, particularly for Atlanta. If you just do all those same things that we're doing now, if you don't do any of the projects that we've talked about, you just sort of get that same split of trips with that new growth that's expected to happen, you get about 55,000 new cars. Added to that 75,000, you've got 230,000 car trips now. So that's pretty substantial. The good news is that the transit that we've just talked about pulls off a lot of those trips. The walking and biking projects that we've talked about pull off a lot of those trips. Changing some of those parking policies, not the things that cost money, but just those things that change the market incentives a bit, pull off a lot of those trips, to the point that if you just did those things, your growth in car traffic with all of the new development that's expected in Midtown would only be about a 10% traffic growth. So it's a bit of traffic growth, but it's not crippling. And then if you add in some of those travel demand management incentives, we can actually get to a point where we've reduced the number of vehicles driving in Midtown, despite the fact that we've got the growth that are shown in all of those red buildings. So this is where the opportunity lies. If we build the projects we're talking about, we get just a moderate increase in traffic. If we start to invest in some of those incentives that change behavior, we can actually get a reduction in car trips in Midtown. This is truth with data from around the country where people have done these things and they've tracked the results before and after. So for each of these measures, we've taken the things that we're showing here and in the amount that we're showing them, compared them to what has worked and what have been the results in other places, and looked at what that's going to mean for trip growth and trip change in Midtown. And so this is what the opportunity really is for us to create all of the amenity, all of the multimodalism, the walkability, the safety, the vibrancy that we've seen, and not really experience the big downside that a lot of people would expect us to experience. So that's a lot of stuff. We have, as hopefully you saw on the way in, we've got boards in the back, and those of us at the consultant side, on the staff side, will be standing around those boards and happy to talk to you about these ideas and the things that we're proposing. Really where we are in the process is right at the end. After this meeting, we've got our stakeholder committee meeting tomorrow, and then we're going to move into documenting and getting a report together for this project. The maps that you see in the back of the room will be online Monday, so you can take a look at them with a little more time and a little more leisure. You can see a website here, MidtownTransportationPlan.com, that you can go to and email us with thoughts that you might have about those, and if you feel like we're in the right neighborhood and in the right ballpark on those. But again, for now, what we want to do is kind of go back to the stations, have some discussion, talk about what we've done, hear from you and where we're going, if this feels like the right direction. Appreciate you being here, appreciate your time. Kevin, did you want to say anything else? Thanks.
It really is an impressive body of work, and it's really exciting for us. Let me also recognize Councilwoman Mary Norwood, who's with us today. Thank you for being here. There's a lot happening at the city right now. There's a work session tomorrow at, I guess, 1 p.m. on the T-Splost, which is project lists that are looking like the council may be acting on those on the 18th of this month. It's exciting times. On your seats, you'll see a couple of pieces of paper. One, 8.5 by 11, is just a fact sheet on the City of Atlanta T-Splost from the City of Atlanta site, some commonly asked questions, and then the other side is from MARTA on the MARTA referendum. So start there and continue to familiarize yourself with these projects. There's also a small card that, that's all right, we'll leave it there, that points you to our Midtown Community Survey. We've had this survey open for about 5 or 6 weeks. I'm very pleased that over 3,000 people have responded to our community survey. This is not just about transportation. This is about everything you like or don't like about Midtown. It includes open-ended questions. It includes questions about safety, about security, about livability, about vibrancy, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. So please take a few minutes. It's about a 7-minute survey. We'd very much like to hear from you. And then speaking of surveys, you've got a card that looks like this at your place as well. Take a minute and fill it out. It's small, but we want to hear from you in terms of what we could do to improve opportunities like this, what you didn't understand about this evening's presentation, what you'd like to hear more of, and then it's an opportunity for you to let us know who you are. We can communicate directly with you. So since we've got a good crowd, rather than try and take one-off questions, we really thought it'd be more efficient to put the experts back towards the back of the room with the boards and to take your questions there. So with that, we'll adjourn to that segment of tonight's program, and thank you again for being here.